University of Baltimore graduate student represented the university on the international stage after presenting research at the 2026 World Biodiversity Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Sheik MD Akij, an MBA in marketing student at the Merrick School of Business, attended the 4th World Biodiversity Forum from June 14 to 18, with support from Turner Award, provided by the University of Baltimore Council on Research, Scholarship, and Creative Activity, and an early career research grantee of World Biodiversity Forum 2026.
Sheik serves as a graduate assistant at the Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation at the University of Baltimore, where he supports entrepreneurship programs, student engagement, and innovation initiatives.
The forum, organized under the theme Leading Transformation Together, brought together more than 1,000 participants from academia, government, industry, indigenous communities, and civil society to explore practical approaches for implementing the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework.
Sheik presented his research poster, Entrepreneurship for Biodiversity, Bridging Nature, Humans, and Capital Through Circular and Inclusive Innovation, during the forum's Biodiversity Finance track. His work proposed an integrated framework linking circular business models, blended finance, and cross-sector collaboration to help translate biodiversity science into market-ready ventures.
His poster was featured in the Find 5 session, Nature, Humans, and Capital for Biodiversity Positive Outcomes, alongside researchers examining biodiversity finance, corporate governance, conservation investment, and nature-positive economic models. The presentation attracted significant interest from researchers and policymakers throughout the conference. World Biodiversity Forum Chairperson Professor Dr. Gabriela Schaepman-Strub visited the poster and offered recommendations for strengthening the ecological foundation of the research. Fiona Harvey, environment editor of The Guardian, also met with Akij and conducted a filmed interview discussing entrepreneurship and biodiversity finance.
It has been an incredible experience. I received valuable feedback on my research, entrepreneurship for biodiversity, bridging human-nature capital. I received very good feedback from the researcher and scientists. I'm very grateful to the organizers of World Biodiversity Forum 2026 and to the University of Baltimore, my supervisor Henry Mortimer, my professor Ting Jiang, and I'm also very grateful and thankful to my family, my friends, and my country people from Bangladesh, also media who
environment editor of The Guardian newspaper, and I've come to see this amazing project. This is the poster for it. Sheik, you've been explaining to me how this works. You've actually got a special accolade at this conference, at the World Biodiversity Forum, for embarking on this amazing project. Tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, so this conference, my topic is very specific. So I try to make it for the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur is very vital part of our system. So I think entrepreneur can play a very vital role for the world biodiversity. So I'm trying to bridging human, nature, and capital. So because I found some significant gaps in sustainable landscape perspective among researchers, financiers, entrepreneurs, and policymakers. So I'm trying to bridging among all of them, and with some research word I can mention circular production system, scalable blended finance, and inclusive cross-sector collaborations. So that's 3 integrated dimensions in my research project.
This is really impressive. And talk us through a few of the details here, because some people might not be familiar with the idea, for instance, of circular production systems. What is a circular production system?
So that definitely is a very nice question. So circular production system helps for getting sustainable ecosystem. So we have to choose a product which will give us reverse for our planet. So, for example, last year I was in Austria. So I visited one of the biggest postal company in Austria. So I found they have courier services, so like Amazon. So their packaging system. Normally we use package and throw out, but they made a product. The product it can be reused again. So this is one of the greatest example of circular. I mean, production system. I mean, using the product again and friendly for the ecosystem.
Excellent. And talk us through a bit more of the finance, because we need a lot more finance going into biodiversity. And it's been very hard to get that up to now. What's your idea for unlocking some of this finance?
Okay, that's a great question. Also, so in my research, I've chosen a blended finance. So blended finance is kind of open. It can be government, it can be semi-government, it can be private capital. So I think
and discuss it with him to see how he really contributes to biodiversity science and making the industry more sustainable as well. He just presented to me a new framework he is proposing exactly into that direction. So maybe do you want to explain the main steps?
actually, yes, I mean, the main steps, as I mentioned to you, my ultimate target is bridging among researchers, financiers, policymakers, and entrepreneurs. So I have just framed out some dimensions of circular production
Researchers
systems,
appreciated
scalable
the
blended
business
finance,
focused
and
perspective
inclusive
within a
cross-sector
conference
collaboration.
largely
And
centered on
definitely, I'll
ecology
will
and
use
public
some
policy,
scientific analytical
with several
approach, what
discussions leading to
already
potential
mentioned
future
here,
research
and we're going through
collaborations.
some key research contributions. Even it's I can say all about is 90-day implementation with some roadmaps.
Great. This sounds like a very an approach that is going pretty fast, also including literature synthesis and everything. We usually in science take quite some time to go through such an entire framework. But I also understand that from the business side, the pressure might be quite high to implement some of the measures. And I certainly think it is important to also collaborate with scientists who have a deep understanding of the corresponding ecosystem where some of the biomaterials, for example, are being sourced to really make an impact, a positive impact on the biodiversity of that respective system. The biodiversity, but also the ecosystem functions that actually come with more regenerative approaches.
Great. Definitely, I really appreciate your advice, and definitely I will go through more details. And I'll also appreciate if any particular advice to engage with another research team or any particular researcher for make some collaboration. I'll be really appreciated.
Great. Thank you so
Thank you.
much for working on the biodiversity topic. That's great.
And finally, I want to express my great gratitude to World Biodiversity Forum and as well as you for being me here and also give me opportunity, provide me early research, career research grant, and this is huge for me. I'm very thankful overall. I would like to express my country people gratitude as well because it was they were so excited, and I want to express my gratitude to my mom, my family, my friends, and my country people, and some media house covered the news. So it's really very appreciated all of the things. Thank you so much for the opportunity and everything.
Thank you very much for making the long way. And I really also appreciate that the messages and all the results and all the work is actually carried out into the world, and especially early careers. I know they are very appreciative and they really do this work in an incredible manner. You know, we really rely on people like you who are ready to work and invest a lot of your time into coming here, into exposing yourself to criticism, exploring new collaborations, going back to your country, and then also start discussions there. And I think this is really what we want to achieve here at the World Biodiversity Forum, really talking together in a positive way and moving together forward, because this is really what we need to actually bend the curve of biodiversity loss. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Fred Dahlmann. I'm Associate Professor at Warwick Business School, and I'm looking at this paper proposal here by Sheik, and he's looking at entrepreneurship for biodiversity, which is obviously a huge topic area where we really need to see a lot of action and efforts emerging. I think he's right on the money insofar as that we are significantly lacking a lot of investment in this space, and if the goals of a nature positive world are to be achieved, we do need some new business and new entrepreneurship to come forward. I see a lot of key concepts here: circular production systems and blended finance and cross-sector collaboration that are absolutely central to achieving some of the goals and outcomes. I think pulling this all together, trying to create a framework for entrepreneurs to work with is central. I'm not yet seeing where and how exactly this will have the sort of direct benefits for biodiversity, or what the kind of business models and the products and services are that need to achieve this. But I think in terms of an overall roadmap, you clearly understand the sort of the needs of bringing together the finance side into entrepreneurship. So well done, best of luck. I hope we'll see some entrepreneurs coming out of this.
Hi everyone, my name is Leyla Azizi and I'm affiliated at Dresden University of Technology in Germany. I'm doing research on biodiversity accounting, biodiversity management and biodiversity finance. And I really appreciate the submission of this great poster and this research to my session on bridging nature, finance and capital for nature positive outcomes. I see a lot of potential in this research. For example, we were able to identify some pathways for future outcomes. Maybe the first one could be a circular economy and biodiversity, so the interdependencies between these both fields. The other one could be blended finance and biodiversity, so how can we finance nature positive outcomes through financial instruments? And maybe another paper or outcome could be a conceptual model between circularity, circular economy, and biodiversity. So what are the interdependencies between these fields? So yes, thank you so much for your attendance and for being here. It's nice to have you here, and I wish you good luck. And to be honestly, you have many ideas, and I'm sure that you will do all the things. Yes, thank you so much.
Hi, Joeri Sol here from the University of Amsterdam, Amsterdam Business School at the World Biodiversity Conference. And here with the poster by Sheik Akij on entrepreneurship for biodiversity, a very important topic. Sheik maps out the main problem that we face as a society and how we should start to approach this from an entrepreneurship perspective, offering tools for blended finance in investors, impact investors. Make sure to check out his work.
WBF 2026, Africa and the world, Bangladesh, Malawi, Kenya.
Following the conference, Sheik participated in a research excursion to the Stilberg afforestation site in Switzerland's Dishma Valley. The field visit examined long-term forest restoration and climate adaptation research led by the WSL Institute for Snow and Avalanche Research. During the excursion, Akij also interviewed fellow participants on biodiversity conservation and international scientific collaboration for Potomac 24, the publication he founded. Sheik said the experience strengthened his ability to communicate entrepreneurship and finance concepts to interdisciplinary audiences, while providing valuable feedback to improve the ecological rigor of his research. He also noted that the experience connected academic work with real-world biodiversity restoration and finance initiatives.